Good afternoon, everybody. This is Prashant from LeadSquared. Thank you for joining this webinar. Today, we are going to talk about Lead Engagement Index. In the latest release of LeadSquared, we introduced a concept of Engagement Index, which is a very powerful concept to understand the level of engagement with every lead that you manage and track in LeadSquared. So let me get onto the presentation. So I have very few slides, and then I'll give you a live demo of LeadSquared, how lead engagement index is defined, captured, and used. That's my introduction. I am founder and chief customer officer of LeadSquared. And some housekeeping items. You can find more about this webinar and all our previous webinars and a wealth of educational content at blog.leadsquared.com. So I encourage all of you to have a look at that, and you'll really find some very good articles and recorded videos and presentations there. Okay, so just before getting into lead engagement index, just a quick intro about LeadSquared. So we are a sales and marketing automation software helping companies in getting more returns from their investments in sales and marketing. You can find more about us on leadsquared.com. I won't use this webinar to talk about LeadSquared. Let's jump into lead engagement index. So what is the need of, first of all, what is the need of such an index? Why do we need an index for lead engagement? And I have put some questions here, and I think all of you would find these questions relevant, interesting in some context. So we always we are doing marketing and sales activities in order to convert leads to customers, right? But how do we figure out which are the leads that are going to convert to customers, say in this week or next month? So that's a very important question, and that is not addressed by most of the sales and marketing systems, including marketing automation, CRM systems. Another very important question is how do we find the impact of our nurturing campaigns? So we generate leads, we do email marketing on leads, we send SMSs, we invite them to webinars, we invite them to workshops. But how do we figure out what is the impact of those nurturing campaigns? Whether a particular campaign has resulted in leads getting more engaged. So that's something which is difficult to measure in the current marketing automation and CRM systems. The third question is if we are generating leads from, say, different sources, is there a way to figure out that leads from, say, source A are more engaged or equally engaged than leads from source B? Another example of a question would be how to ascertain if marketing and sales users are doing enough to engage leads. So user-wise or lead owner-wise, how do we know if they are doing enough so that leads are warm and engaged? And I'm assuming that all of us present in the webinar would be managing the leads by stages. You'd be having stages like, say, inquiry, opportunity, prospect, suspect, customer. So disqualified, those kind of stages. But is there a way to figure out that if my lead goes to this particular stage, it becomes more engaged because my marketing team does nurturing campaigns which are engaging when the lead is in that particular stage? So those are some questions that arise in the course of sales and marketing, and I have put some of them. There are many more which need answer in order to be effective in converting leads to customer, and lead engagement index is a way to answer these questions. So what is lead engagement index? So it basically helps a company, a business to overall figure out the level of engagement of all the leads or the segment of leads and take actions to drive sales. So it's an actionable index. It's not index for the sake of index, it's an actionable index. And using lead engagement index, you can find the leads. You can zero down the leads which are engaged and also find groups of leads. So typically in any kind of lead management system, you'd be segmenting leads on certain criteria, and you can figure out whether a group of leads, for example, leads from a particular source or leads belonging to a particular city, they are engaged or not. And you can do meaningful comparison of engagement level of leads. So all comparing two leads in a meaningful way is a difficult problem because the parameters of the two leads may be different. They might be from different sources. There might have been different kind of marketing activities performed on them. But comparing apple to apple and defining the system in such a way that you can do apple to apple comparison, it's a difficult problem, and that we have solved using lead engagement index. Also, finding out in which stages your leads are less engaged or more engaged, that's possible using the engagement index. And last but probably the most important point in LeadSquared lead engagement index is that you can define what constitutes the lead engagement. So it's not something which is predefined by LeadSquared and you're told to use it. You can define your own parameters of the lead engagement. And before I go to the demo of LeadSquared for lead engagement index, a quick comparison of lead scoring and engagement score. So most of us are familiar with lead scoring. Lead scoring has been a very fundamental, very known concept in the world of CRM and marketing. So lead scoring is a good concept. It's a good indicator, but it gives you a very broad level or high level indicator about how what is the level of engagement of all of your leads. So it would be a good indicator on a large data set, but when it comes to figuring out which are the leads which are going to convert in next few days, weeks or month, it's not a good indicator. The reason is that it assigns scores on all activities since the creation of leads. It disregards whether an activity is meaningfully engaging the lead or not. It captures the scores of all activities. So those are two fundamental flaws in lead scoring, and we have addressed that in the engagement score. So engagement score focuses only on the activities that can drive engagement or drive sales. It focuses on leads only in active lead stages, not in inactive lead stages. It focuses on recent activities. So there is a recency, influence of recency in the engagement score. And this makes it a good indicator to compare leads and segment of leads. So having said that, let me go to LeadSquared. Let me jump into the demo. So I have opened an account of a demo account for this webinar. So what you see here is the dashboard of LeadSquared, and you can see some elements of the lead engagement. You can see that overall lead engagement across all the lead is 28%, which means that 28% of all my leads are engaged as of now. And what I see here is that these are top 5 lists which are engaged, top 5 segments of leads. So there are 5 lists, 3 are engaged 100% and 2 50%, 2 50% or less, and they are in different color codes. And then I can see the most engaged leads. So leads where the engagement score is the highest. And I also see the engagement by stages, that in my inquiry stage 23% leads are engaged, in cold lead 0%, warm lead 50%, hot lead 100% leads are engaged, right? So this is stage wise distribution of engagement index. So how do we set it up? So in LeadSquared you can first of all define the stages which constitute active lead stage. So across so you might be having several lead stages in the system, right, or in your as part of your marketing and sales process. You should differentiate between the active ones and inactive ones, because engagement will increase. Engagement is applicable only to the stages which are active. It's not applicable if a lead is in inactive stage. So we give you a way to separate the inactive lead stages from the active ones. So that's one setting that is there. Then you define the scores of all the activities. So this is the setting where you can in the life cycle of lead, there might be emailing activities, there might be website activities, there might be form submission activities, phone call activities, different kind of activities. And this is the place where you set up the score of those activities. Right? So you can, for example, define that email link clicked has a score of 20, and if a person marks your email as spam, a score of -500. So similar scores can be defined. So this is customizable by a client of LeadSquared. And then this setting up around engagement score. So this is the place where you define the parameters of engagement scoring. So what you say is that I would assume if a lead is engaged only if there is activity that has happened in the last 30 days or whatever number of days that you want to define. And I would count engagement only if the lead is in a particular stage. For example, among all active stages, I can select the stages here. And I would count engagement only if some of these activities, I can select the activities on which I will count the engagement. For example, email sent might be an activity, but it may not be a very important activity in terms of engagement, because unless a person has opened an email, it does not mean anything, right? So that email sent may not be an activity that is factored as part of engagement scoring, but email opened could be an activity. So one can choose the activities on which engagement will be counted. One can choose the stages on which engagement will be considered, and one can define the number of days so that you have the recency effect when the engagement score is being calculated. So once you are done with these things, what you get is this kind of view in your across your leads. So over on your lead management page, you can find which are the leads that are engaged. So red ones are engaged. You can see that they are engaged. And if a lead is not engaged, then the color is gray. It's grayed out. So there has been activity on these leads in last 30 days, which is the time frame we have defined in our setting. So that's why they are red in color. So in manage leads, you can figure out which are the leads that are engaged. If you click on a particular lead, for example, this one, you'll find the engagement score. So there is engagement score, and you can see that the lead score is 290, but engagement score is 190, which means that the 290 is sum of all the activities which have happened with this lead since it was created, but 190 is the score of the meaningful activities that we have chosen in the last 30 days, that have happened on this particular lead. So you can find the engagement score of each of the leads. Then on the segment of leads, and people who are familiar with LeadSquared would know that you can create segments of lead by manage list. You can figure out which lists are more engaged than others. So for example, I have several lists created here, and I can see that the top 3 are 100% engaged. Then there are lists which are 50%, 33%. What it means is that so if it's 100%, it means that all the leads in the list are engaged. If it's 50%, it means that only half of the leads in the list are engaged, right? And you can also click on the list, and you can go inside the list and find the overall engagement index and also the individual leads which constitute the overall engagement index, right? So this is a list which is where overall engagement index is 23%, right? And another example of a list where the overall engagement index is 33%. Right. So these are so after you set up your engagement parameters, you'd be able to see the engagement level of leads individually or on a segment. Segment means a list of leads within LeadSquared. And people who are a bit new to the concept of segmentation, let me show you how you can do it. So for example, you can create you can say create a new list out of all of your lead records, and you can say that lead activity is, for example, email opened, right? And any email all time. So this is a criteria that I'm using to find the leads who have opened an email campaign, and these are the people. And if I save as a static list, right? So this is the way you can create a list. So I've created the list, and it would have because I've sorted by engagement index, so it probably have gone down. If I sort by created by date, it will come on the top. And right now it's showing the engagement index as 0. So our engagement index computation service will be running and updating the engagement index in some time. So I'll get to know what is the engagement index of this particular list. So you get the capability to create segments of leads and also capability to get the engagement index on that particular segment of leads. And so this was on the segment and also on individual leads. And if you want to look at the overall data about how your leads are engaged, so you get it on dashboard. So you can see the lead engagement index overall and also figure out the top 5 list and most engaged leads, and also engagement by stages. So this is very important. This means that in this particular account, the cold leads, so nothing happens, so nobody does any kind of nurturing activities, and the reason could be that they are cold leads, nothing is going to happen. So either this particular stage should be inactive stage so that it does not appear over here, or some kind of engagement activity should be happening on this on the lead in this particular stage, right? So let me pause for some questions. I think some people have typed some questions. If you have questions, you can type them. I'm just reading the questions which are there, and I think Minu has answered many of them. So there was a question from Anant, how do you define engagement? I think Anant, that question is answered. If not, you can just drop a note on the chat window. So the question is, what constitutes engagement for a lead? So Anant, like I was describing, the engagement means that a meaningful activity has happened, in a recent time frame on a lead which is an active lead stage, right? So if you are having say thousands of leads in the system, on all of them, there meaningful activities might not have happened in the recent past, right? So if you are nurturing your leads, you are running some kind of campaigns on the leads, you are doing say email campaigns on the leads. So if the people who have probably opened your email campaign or clicked the links in the email campaign in the recent past, and if those people are in active lead stage, that means that they are engaged, right? So engagement is always in context of recency. So because you might be having say leads in the system for last 1 year, but somebody who was dormant earlier may suddenly become engaged and may further move down in the marketing funnel and become a customer, right? So you always want to figure out which are the top leads where I should act in this week, this month, this in next few days. So that's where engagement index will be helping. So another question is from Kevin Sam. Should we already have a targeted database or can we link this to the website? Kevin, if your question is about the leads in LeadSquared, so you can import the leads from your database and also capture the leads from your website. So so leads can be captured from both the sources, and once you start running your campaigns, you will get engagement index on the leads from all sources, whether it's coming from database or from website. There's a question from Anoop. Could you please show an example how well we can set the score to for optimized use of lead engagement index? So let me go back to LeadSquared. So Anoop, first of all, you need to define the activity score. So fundamentally, if you have leads in your system, right, whether you are using LeadSquared or any other system, if you and I'm assuming that you'd be running marketing activities, marketing campaigns and sales activities on those leads. So activities are happening on the leads, right? And activities could be inbound activities where lead is actually initiating the activity. It could be outbound. For example, you calling the lead or you giving a demo to the lead, those could be outbound activities. Activities could be good, bad, ugly, right? So if you had a demo with a particular person, it might be a good demo, it might be a bad demo, it might be a very bad demo, and you may not want to pursue that lead, right? So activities keep happening, but all activities are not equally important. Some are some are very good, some are very important, some are not important. For example, a good demo is an important activity, a very bad demo is not so important activity. So you want to give different kind of weightage to these activities, and that's where this particular setting around activity scoring helps in LeadSquared. So you can define the score of each of the activities that may happen in the lead life cycle. So you can define the scores of email activities, web activities, phone call activities. So this is the starting point, that you define score. So for example, for an email open, you might want to give a score of 1, but for an email link click, you might want to give a score of 10, right? Similarly, for a phone call, you might want to give a score of 5, but for a demo, you might want to give a score of 20, right? So because a demo, may take the lead deeper into your sales funnel than just a phone call. So first of all, you need to define the scores of these activities, right? Once it is done, then within the engagement score, so there are 3 parameters. First is to capture the recency effect, that what is the time frame in which I am going to consider the activity for the activity to make an impact on the engagement score, right? The second is the lead stage, that your leads might be in several stages, but all of those stages may not be important in context of the engagement, right? Because you might be running engagement activities only on the leads in certain stages. So here you can choose those stages. So in this example, we have chosen inquiry, cold lead, warm lead, hot lead, right? And left out the invalids, disqualified, not interested. So that's the second level of setting. The third is you choose the actual activities. So there might be hundreds of activities that you do on the lead, but all of them may not be actually engaging activities. So you define which are the activities that actually translate to engagement, right? So these are 3 parameters that you provide that will be input for a system like LeadSquared to compute the lead engagement index, right? And on which then you can compare the leads and segment of leads. Hope that answers your question, Anup. Okay, so there is a question from Nishant. I think Meenu has answered. There is a question from Ajay. Apart from sending emails and SMS, what else can we do to engage leads? So Ajay, it depends on the business, but there are several ways of engaging leads. So emailing. So within email and SMS also there are advanced use cases of doing drip marketing. For example, you can set up a series of email email campaigns, nurturing campaigns on lead. So automated emails can go, automated SMSs can go based on time or based on certain events that happen. So those are the standard ways. And so apart from that, you can invite leads to events like workshops, webinars, counseling sessions in context of educational companies, right? So those are ways to engage. You can share case studies, you can share white papers, you can share recorded videos of educational nature. So these are some examples using which you can engage leads. And if you want to understand specifically in context of your business, drop me a note and I'll get in touch with you to give you specific inputs on what you can do to engage your leads. So there is a question from Kevin. In each level of engagement with the leads, the client is hot to move to the next engagement or cold to drop out. How would you structure the hot leads at different level? For example, in real estate, client is hot at inquiry level saying he's interested, he's hot in this level and moves to the next level of site visit. Again, he likes my project and he's not to move to the next level of, is there a way? Kevin, I did not fully understand the question, but I think your question is probably with each interaction of the lead may move forward or backward in your marketing funnel, right? And so if that's the case, you can manage that by lead stages. So typically lead stages are sequential. So stage will probably, in context of real estate, it may start from inquiry and then it may end up as a buyer, right? And between inquiry and buyer, there may be several intermediate lead stages, and a lead may move back and forth depending upon what interaction, what activities happened, right? And so within a system like LeadSquared, you can always change the stage based on what has happened, and your lead engagement in that particular stage will start reflecting once you do that. So Kevin, if you have a follow-up question, just type it, because I am not sure I fully understood your question. Anup, your question regarding the ideal time and day to achieve max engagement. I guess, Anup, you're asking in context of email campaigns. Is that correct? Okay, so that's in email campaigns. Based on our experience, so our customers do email campaigns in India and in other geographies. And if I talk only about India, what we have seen is that when you send promotional emails, the open and click rates are higher if the emails are sent on Wednesdays or Thursdays in second half, typically between 2 and 4 p.m. So that's when the open and click rates are higher. So you can check more about it on our blog page, blog.leadsquared.com. We have a wealth of information about email campaigns, and you'd find some specific inputs regarding when can you achieve best open and click rates. Okay, I guess we have covered all the questions. Any other questions? Okay, I guess we are done. We are done in half an hour. That's standing. So it was a very pointed topic, and we could cover in 30 minutes, including Q&A. So we will be sharing the presentation as well as a recorded video with all of you by an email in next few business days, most likely by next Tuesday. And if you have any follow-up questions, please do get in touch with us. And thank you for joining. Have a wonderful Friday and weekend. Bye-bye. Good day.